Hi, this is Bruce, and today we're going to look at how to get started with headless WordPress. So if we open up the my WordPress site in an incognito window here, we can see we've got the site. So this is the home page or the cover page. But what we want to look at are the posts. So we've got two posts here. We've got Sanji's post or page, and you can see it's got a message plus the image of a cardinal. And then we've got another post here that says, hey, you want to play? With an image of a bulldog and a little bit of a paragraph. Right. So if we wanted to see the JSON or the headless part of this from the WordPress API, what we could do is just come back here, and you can see under WordPress API, we can copy this without the WP because I've already got it there. And then if we go back to the incognito window and paste that in, you can see here we're returning some JSON or JSON, and it has the information from the page. So there's some meta information, including the slug and the link. We've got the rendered content. We've got the rendered title. We've got an excerpt that we could use in order to display things, and some other information on the page. And you can see we've got that for two different posts. So this first post is the last post that was created, and then we've got it for a second post again, which was the first post that was created, and this is the one with the British Bulldog. Okay. So what we want to do is see how we can get this information into a web page and then displayed on that page. So we're going to flip over here to Visual Studio Code. I've got a folder set up called headless, so we'll put all the stuff in here. In there, I've got an index page or an HTML page. I've linked it up to a CSS file where I've got a bit of a reset, just to reset the page. And then I've got some styling on the section, just adding some padding, styling on the nav, just creating some columns, and then styling on a footer. And what we end up with is something that looks like this. Right? So there's nothing there really. After that, I've got two different sections in the on the page, one for the nav, which I've called posts, and one for the content, which I've called content. Obviously, you can see the footer here, and now we're going to link up a JavaScript and get started. So we'll just come here and then JavaScript, and you can see I've created already a JavaScript file. So let's come over here and we'll copy the link to that URL, and then we're going to create a base URL variable. So we're going to create a constant variable called base URL, and we're going to make that equal to the link that we just copied. I'll show you what's going on in a second. And so that's the base link is right here. So that's how we get to it. And then we've got our endpoints, right, such as posts or pages or users or media that we can add to this base URL. So I've created a template literal here. So this is not a quote. This is a backtick. Which will be in different places on your keyboards. Often it's kind of in the top left-hand corner, beside the one, beside the function, something like that. On my keyboard, it's actually down right above the control key because I'm using a French keyboard on a Mac. And then after that, what we want to do is go and fetch this URL using the fetch API, and I'm going to use an async function. so that it will fetch it asynchronously. And I'm going to create a constant called response, and it's going to wait to fetch that URL, and then it will create another constant, or I'm creating another constant called data, and it will await for the data to be converted into JSON, right, or JSON. After that, let me you can see Copilot here is completing what I want to do. But what we can do for right away is we'll fetch the post and then we'll display the data in the console. So let's save this and flip over to here and refresh and then inspect. And with any luck in the console, we should see something, but we didn't. Oh, and that's because we didn't actually run fetch posts. So we're going to fetch posts, and we'll pass in the URL. All right, so this is the name of the function, and then here I'm calling the function and then passing in this URL into here as a parameter, and then it's fetching that URL. So now we should be able to see it, and we do. And so we can see here in the console log, let me just make this bigger a little bit. We've got the two posts, so post with an index of 0 and post with an index of 1. And if we look at it, we can see that this is Sanji's page. If we look at the first one, and if we look at the second one with an index of 1, we can see this is the Hello World page with the information from that page on it. So now what we want to do is display one of the posts. So display post, not posts. So here we can create a function called display post. We're going to go and grab that data. And now, just for fun, we can go console log here and the data, just to make sure we're passing the data into here. So this won't look any different, except you can see now it's getting the data from line 14. So, and we can see the console log here is line 14. So if we wanted to get the content, for instance, from this first one, we need to pass in the index of the array. So we can, in square brackets, because it's an array, we can put 0 for the first index. And now you can see instead of getting 2, we're only getting the information from the 1. After that, you can see we've got content key here, and we've got a rendered key inside that content key. So if we put .content .rendered, then what we should get is the rendered information, and we can see that right here, coming from the WordPress site right here. So this is the information that we're getting. Okay. So now the next trick is going to be to put that onto the page, right? So if you remember, our page has a section with an ID of content. So let's come back here and we'll create a constant. A variable called content section, and we'll use query selector in order to select that content. And now what we can do is create an element. And then we'll put the content into that element using inner HTML. Right? So we created an element, but what we'll create is an article. I keep getting distracted by Copilot. I really should turn it off, but it is kind of helpful. We're going to create an article, and so an article element, and then we're going to put the rendered content inside that article element, and then we're going to put that article or append that article into that content section. So now if we come back to our headless page, right, we should see that we've got the content from the article here on the page. If we change the data, the index of the array, the data array, to 1, so we're going to get the other post, and then refresh. Make sure I save it. Make sure I change it here, not just in the console log. Right now you can see where we've got the information from the other post. Let me just add a little bit of a section nav padding. So that's the top, and then 1.44 rem is the right, and then we'll do at the bottom. We'll do 3 rem. And then on the left, 1.44 rem. And so now we should be able to see the bottom of the thing, above the bottom of the post above this here. And what is this? It's a little SVG. We'll figure that out later. Okay. So now let's go back and let's add a title to that. So if we look in the console, we'll just go back to the data here. And if we look in the console, we can see we can also get a title right here and put that at the top. So it'll be title and then rendered, similar to the last one. So here what we'll do is go let H2, so we're going to create an H2 element, and then we're going to set it to the title key and then rendered, just like we have before. And then we're going to append it. Notice I've put it before, so it should put the title above the page here, or above the content. There you go. So there's the title that's being pulled from the page right here. So you should probably take a break at this point and go and see if you can get your post to appear on a page using this code. And then when you come back, what we're going to do is we're going to insert a nav up here so we can go back and forth, or we can navigate to any of the posts or all of the posts.